Good morning, Tigers. The last time my peers and I covered the lunchtime change, we sparked a conversation amongst our peers and faculty. Moreover, we were able to interview the superintendent and several of our peers, all of whom reached out to us wanting to get their personal views on the topic. Ethan, what made you contact us for a follow-up interview?
So what made me follow up for a follow-up interview is the Rickroll you guys did and the way the administrators talked about the lunch times. Every student in this school building knows that we do not have enough time to eat lunch, and that's okay. We are in unprecedented times, but the staff needs to admit that and not try to make it seem like everything's okay. Kids do not have enough time to get to class, to eat their lunch, and to get through the line. The line takes up to 10 minutes, and that's not a number that we're just pulling out of nowhere. We stood in line and got the school lunch, got it, and sat down to eat. By the time that we sat down, we had 10 minutes to eat.
My biggest problem with the changed lunch schedule is probably the rush it puts everybody in when they're trying to get to lunch. As soon as that lunch bell rings, everybody's running and hollering, and that lunch line gets so long super quick. It kind of makes the rest of my day hard to get through. I already don't eat much, and not having a time to eat the little that I do makes it really hard to get through my following periods. During the rising cases right now, we probably couldn't do much, but it'd be good for the county to acknowledge that there is a problem with the lunch times right now.
Luckily, I was able to get an interview with the superintendent to view his opinion on the current lunchtime problem.
Well, historically, kids want more time in lunch. So, am I aware of the recent activity where people are meeting with principals requesting more time? No, but it's not surprising. But the county does not impose the lunch schedule. It's done by the local schools. So we've actually changed our lunch schedule a little bit based on COVID, and so the schools have had a lot of flexibility on how they do lunch, and that's not something that the county or me gets involved in, is when students are going to have lunch, how long they're going to have lunch. We do have a 7-period day, which kind of determination of how many lunches and how long our lunches are based on when are you going to have lunch. You're going to have 3 lunches, you're going to have 4 lunches. Is that going to be during 6th period, 7th period? You're going to split the lunches. So those are some of those decisions. As a former principal, you kind of have to make those calls of when do you want to do lunch, how many lunches you want to have, and how long do you need to provide for lunch. So the county decides on the number of periods we have in the day. So 7 periods. We have 7 periods at all of our schools, but the local principals determine lunch schedules, or the local administrative team, I would probably say. I think that you have methods to communicate with the principal now. I hope through student council, through opportunities of just talking to the principal, just really ensuring that you're communicating your voice to the principal as well as your parents. You know, principals listen to students, and they also listen to parents, and if there's a problem, I know that they want to hear about it. Now, my perspective is a little different, is that you don't really, as a former principal, I never wanted to give more time than's really needed in lunch. So you want to get the students in, get them through the line, let them have about 15 minutes to eat. Not a whole lot longer than that, because idle time is not generally good for students. Sometimes they can find ways to get themselves in trouble if there's a lot of idle time built into the lunch schedules. I just want to thank all the students at Fayette County. We are so fortunate to have such great students at Fayette County High School. So, thanks.
So we moved to 4 lunches instead of 3 last year at the beginning of the year as a response to the coronavirus pandemic. We looked at the capacity of our lunchroom and also how it was the tables were set up. And what we did last year and we continued this year is, in order to reduce the number of students that are in there at one time, we added that 4th lunch. And so what that did is it dropped the lunch time down by about 2 minutes from 2 years ago. And the time of the lunches remained the same this year. And so how we did that is we actually took off a few minutes of instructional time for each other period. But we really felt like it was important to maintain a safe environment for students to try to reduce capacity in lunch. We went from about 400 in each lunch to a little over 250, 250 to 270. Our biggest lunch is right at 300. where before our smallest lunch was about $3.75. And so by spreading people out, it really helped us, we think, reduce the number of potential contacts for COVID. I think we'll look at it every year and every semester to see what our numbers look like, how many students we have in the building, how long those lunch periods are, and also the number of students that go through the line. One of the things that makes Fayette County High School different than other schools in the district is we actually have the highest number of students that eat school lunch. And so that's why we talk to the cafeteria manager to make sure we're preparing food and serving it quickly. And that's why we try to make sure that we plan for everybody to have enough time. So we'll continue to look at it and do what we can to keep folks safe. I can't speak to those other schools. I think if you look at our mitigation efforts, whether it's the stanchions in the hallway or the 4 lunches, I think the numbers play out that we have done a good job, one of the better jobs in the county about keeping potential spread from happening. And so, I can't tell you when we'll go back or if we'll go back, but that's a conversation that the administrative staff has every semester to make sure we're planning the next semester for success, give y'all time in lunch, but also maximize instructional time in the classroom while keeping you as safe as possible.
To conclude, it's clear that both students and faculty alike have genuine and valid concerns about the lunchtime. However, it's important to know that this issue is not black and white. This is Tia Sims reporting for WTGR Broadcasting. See you later, Tigers.